In this video, we're going to be unearthing one of the biggest mysteries known to man, and that is, what's happened to Nike running shoes? What is up, everybody, and welcome back to FORDY Runs HQ. Now, like I said in the open, we're going to be talking about what is going on at Nike. Now, let me know in the comments, are you a Nike fan? Are you wearing Nike running shoes? What's your thoughts on Nike running shoes at the moment? Let me know in the comments. Now, like I said at the start, we're going to try and unearth in this video what's going on with Nike. And I think stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you, I think, what's going on at Nike, what I think is going on at Nike, and why their running shoes are what they are. But before that, let's sort of break it down a little bit. Let's talk about what's good, what's bad, where they're at currently in their lineup, and all those kind of bits. So let's get stuck in. Okay, so right, I think it's a fair comment to make that Nike racing shoes are probably one of the best, if not the best. You've got the Vaporfly and you've got the, where is it, Alphafly 2, which, yeah, you could argue probably, you know, quite hard, but I think they're probably the best running racing shoes out there currently. For me, this is the fastest shoe I own. If I'm looking to tear up a PB, I'm going to put these on. If I'm looking to run a marathon, chances are I'm going to wear the Alphafly 2. I've run most of my marathons in the Alphafly version 1. I've done a couple before I got into Alphafly and some other shoes, but basically it's when I've had 1, 2, 3 pairs of Alphaflys. I've done what, 8 marathons, something like that. Might be wrong, might be more, might be less, but yeah, either way, I'm a big fan of the Alphafly. That's my point about that shoe. So I think it's quite well known that their performance shoes, their racing shoes, are of such high quality that the elite runners are wearing them and they're putting down times in those shoes. You know, for example, Kipchoge with the marathon under 2 hours, it just says it all, really. But when you look under that, under those racing shoes, you start to get into a few problems. Now, this year we've seen some of these nature shoes. Where is it? Nature shoes coming out from Nike. Some of these sustainable shoes, where they're using sort of scraps of Zoom X or parts of Zoom X, and they're putting them into some of their road shoes to try and, I think, get us to buy them in a crude sort of way of looking at it. And I don't think they're hitting the mark. Okay, so let's start with the Zoom Fly 5, right, as an example. Had all the potential to be an amazing shoe, you know, carbon plated shoe, but in that sort of under the racing shoe range, priced at like, what was it, 145, 150 pounds, that sort of area around the Speed 2, Speed 3 arena. You could use it as a training shoe, you could use it as a race day shoe if you couldn't necessarily afford and go up to like Alphafly money over £200. But it's got a plate in it, so you get the propulsion, get the outsole, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and it just had the potential to be a great match for the Alphafly and the Next Percent in terms of a training partner. But that shoe came out, it was heavy, it was just a brick, to use Tim's terminology, and it just weighed a lot, and it had no life. It had, if you compare it to something like a Speed from Endorphin Speed, you know, it was night and day in terms of comparing the two. You then go to the shoe, the latest shoe, the Nike Nature, Turbo Nature, which the sort of, I think, using the Turbo name as a marketing tool, but they've got Zoom X scraps in here, which is all the offcuts, and it doesn't feel anything like a Zoom X shoe at all. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's not particularly brilliant. So yeah, it's a daily trainer that's using the Turbo name, but it's not a Turbo in any shape or form. But it's, again, it's 145 pounds. It's got loads of glue on it. The upper's warm, and yeah, it's okay, but it's not anything that you would say, wow, that shoe's awesome. Then you look at like the Pegasus in general, the daily trainer, king of the daily trainers, but you know, the way they've gone in a direction, well, the direction they've gone is the same old thing, and it's just nothing to it. React foam, I don't know, the Pegasus has lost its way. This version this year is definitely better than previous versions for sure, but the shoe is, you know, again, you go up against some of the best daily trainers out there and what's on offer out there. it's not comparable really to those daily trainers. If we go deeper into the Nike range, the structure, what a waste of time that is. The structure. If you want a stability shoe, and there's so many stability shoe wearers out there. Now the structure is mild stability, but it's you know, it doesn't offer you anything in terms of really of structure with the shoe as a mild stability shoe. It's not like, I don't know, it's not anything special. Again, it's just a bit. You compare it to the Tempest from Saucony, Power Run PP, you know, and it's, I don't know. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this? You look at the cheaper shoes. Let's go down a notch. Windflow. You've got what are the other ones? You've got a Downshifter. You've got, and they're so cheap and they're so badly made. Yes, you go down the price scale, but the sort of money they're asking for, like the Downshifter and the Windflow, you can pick up like last year's models of some of the better daily trainers from last year for that sort of money. It's, you know, I don't even know why you would look at those Nike shoes, and that's where it's sort of, yeah, it starts getting really messy. Now I'm going to put the Invincible to one side, okay, because you guys, a lot of you seem to love it. Now I never got on with the Invincible. It got me injured, okay. I had a problem with my left leg where I pronate. It got me injured, okay, with the Zoom X. So I'm going to kind of say the Invincible is an okay-ish shoe, based on your opinion, all right? So I'm parking that separate. If we look at the shoes, you could say the Invincible actually does the job. I don't know what's going on with the tempo, because I didn't like that shoe, but some of you guys really like that shoe. Again, that's an opportunity, I think, for Nike to do something awesome, but they've not done it this year. It still remained, and I don't like that shoe. I just think it's, yeah, it's just, one, it's really, really noisy, but it's, again, it's nothing that's, wow, amazing. I'd much rather buy the Pro 3 from Saucony. Let's talk about the trail shoes. So in terms of trail shoes, I'm a big fan of the Nike Pegasus Trail, right? I always buy a pair of them, and you've got the Shield version and all this sort of stuff, and that works, and that does the job, right? But the Zagamo is terrible. The Wild Horse I haven't even bothered trying. And what else have they got? Oh, they've got that they've got the new Zoom X plated version coming out. I can't wait to see what that's like. But basically, the trail shoes are, you know, when you compare them against some of the other trail shoes out, especially the stuff from Hoka, you think, you know, why would you bother? So, you know, yes, the Pegasus Trail I think is a good road to trail and offers people like myself a good trail entry shoe for road to trail. But the rest of the shoes out there on the trail range, for me, are just, well, they're just a waste of time. So here's the thing. I think the other shoes are not worth the salt that they're, you know, they're just not worth anything for me. I think the racing shoes are what they are, and they're up on a pedestal. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact of Nike use the Zoom X brand to market, because of how successful they are on their race shoes, to get us to buy the other shoes. And I think that's a bit naughty, but I understand why they're doing it. But I don't think that they actually care that much about the other shoes if you look at the way they're put together, and I'm talking about the cheaper ones. So I think that's, you know, that they're chucked out at such a cheap amount of money that they're made, and they're sort of thrown into the world to sell cheaply. I don't think they really care about evolution or, you know, actually how the runner will perform in those shoes. I don't think they care, because they're spending all their money on the racing shoes. With regards to the Pegasus, I think they are trying a little bit harder with that. I think they tried in the 39 to get it back. I would be interested to see what they do with the 40, whether they really, you know, go back to basics with it and bring it back to life. That's going to be an interesting sort of milestone, I think, for the Pegasus in what they do with it. Let me know in the comments what you think they're going to do with the Pegasus 40. But I'd be interested to see if they do, you know, try something a little bit different. The Vomero is an interesting shoe. It's a shoe that's sort of that cumulus shoe, I think, in their range. And again, it's a bit hit and miss. For me, it was a nothing shoe, but I know some of you guys really liked it as a cruiser. You know, I'd much rather go for a Glide Ride 3 or like a Triumph 20. But I think they could do more with it. I think they could go max stack with the Vomero. They could, you know, try something a little bit different with it. Go, you know, maybe look at the Fresh Foam more from New Balance and sort of go along those lines with the Vomero. I think that'd be kind of cool. They definitely need to sort out a up-tempo plated shoe that's, you know, that magic speed, that that Speed 3 arena where you can train in it, but you could race in it, you know, half marathon, whatever. I think they need to sort that out. Whether they do that with the tempo, I don't know. But the Zoom Fly 5 was such a disaster that they were so way off the mark. And again, they used the Zoom X name to suck you in there. But why would you make that shoe so heavy? It makes no sense. So I think that I just think that they look at them potentially at like almost 3 standing points. That you've got your racing stuff, which is where they spend all their money and the innovation, right? And I get that, and that makes sense to me because they're trying to perform at the pinnacle of the sport. And then you've got that sort of area underneath where they're, you know, Pegasus, Invincible, for argument's sake, and maybe the Vomero, something like that. So there's some shoes where they do have some thought in it, but they know that people will buy them because of the name and because of the heritage of them. Does that make any sense? And then you've got the shoes that they just mass produce as cheap as they can. And that's the thing, it's a really disappointing thing, because with Nike, I'd rather them shrink the range and just concentrate on like the 3 aspects, you know, road, everyday use and trail, and nail that road section and really do some, you know, good daily trainer that can do everything, a good cruiser, you know, a good, you know, max cushion cruiser you can just take on your long runs, it's going to eat them for fun, you know, something that's a little bit in between, a little bit spicy and all that kind of stuff. But they just need a massive kick up the bum. So that's my sixpence on it. That's what I think. I just think that they're so focused on racing that they're not worried about the others, and they know that the other ones will kind of sell themselves. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this. It's an interesting video. There's no real conclusion to it. This is more of a thought-provoking exercise, and to get you thinking, you know, and commenting and giving, you know, others feedback on what you think about Nike at the moment. And we know how good they are in terms of what they've, you know, made with the performance shoes. It comes down to, are they interested in making, you know, good everyday shoes for everyday runners? I'm not so sure that they are. I think, as I said, they're spending their money on the racing shoes, which is, you know, I can understand. But yeah, Nike, I think in 2023 they really need to up their game.